All right, ran out of data. Well, not really. I ain't run out of data. My phone just said, "Fuck it, this is the cap." So I'm gonna finish up this question, and I'm gonna upload this. I guess it don't matter. Hell, by the time y'all see, y'all already have the first one anyway. But he does not hate Kira or Lonzo at all. Now, do I want to see them start? Absolutely not. And people have been irritating me with this. I'm not saying you. I don't remember who question this is. Um, but people in general, Twitter, uh, Facebook, Kira so need to start. I wonder if people actually think about this stuff. Like, let me explain something to you guys. You guys want to move Bledsoe to the bench. For what? What's the point of moving him? Like, I've heard people want to put Josh Hart in the starting lineup. I even mentioned Josh Hart should be starting. But here's the problem. Here's the problem with Josh Hart and Kira starting. And I know this question was strictly for Zoe and Bi. Zoe is going to start. That's Zoe's position. You know, that's his position. Let's just establish that. Zoe is the point guard, the alpha point guard for this team. He is that dude. Right now, the two guard is the question mark. Here's the problem. Who is your relief for Bi? It's Josh Hart. Even though Josh Hart is one of the first guys to come in, it's technically Josh Hart. He's playing small forward. It's just when he comes in, they switch Bi to power forward. Josh Hart plays the three. Then JJ and Kira come in for uh, Zion is replaced by Josh Hart. Bi slides over and he moves there. Kira and JJ replace Bled and Zoe. If you remove Bledsoe from the starting lineup, let's just work with, for your question, if we put Kira into the starting lineup, your bench unit is Bledsoe, JJ, no. Bledsoe, JJ, no. Before we get to Zion and Willie Hernangomez. Now, Bledsoe is like 6'1", 6'2". JJ is like 6'4". No is 6'5". No defense. No defense. Moderate level defense, but stupidity. Low IQ. Can't defend shit. Shot is inconsistent. No handles. Can't stop shooting. Width. Zion good on offense, not good on defense. Width. Willie Hernangomez. Decent, solid backup center. Does it sit in with you? Let's think about this from this perspective, okay? Let's take Josh Hart and put him in the starting lineup. This is the one that gets me though, because I wanted him to start, but I also wanted Nall to start. But it depended on how they were going to run the team. If they're not going to play Wenyen Gabriel, then screw everything I said prior to that. So your starters are now Zoe, Josh Hart, Brandon Ingram, Zion, Steven Adams. The bench, the guys who are coming in that next unit. Kira, 6'3", 165. Bledsoe, 6'2". Stocky, but first of all, your backcourt is really small. But wait a minute, you got to play JJ at small forward. 6'4", JJ, 36-year-old, old man, played defense. LeBron, KD, Paul George, Kawhi, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. See what I'm saying? You're not going to have any size or defense. This is poor roster construction. Okay? You cannot adjust this rotation as is. Unless you were going to play Nall. Nall is the only one that you could play in the starting lineup and not give up too much. You would still end up with that fucked up backcourt of Bledsoe, Kira, but you still at least have Josh Hart in there with them, so you're not totally lost. But do I need to even say it? Do I even need to say it? We already talked about the second unit blowing leads, not putting up offense. I've already mentioned about the ball handlers. Sure, you would get 2 ball handlers either way. But the problem is they can't defend, and they're way too small. In particular, that Kira Bledsoe JJ lineup, you're playing 3 guards. Your tallest is 6'4". And he has to guard like God level small forwards. You can get away with it with Josh because Josh Hart plays hard. And I don't even like him playing small forward. But that's all you got. You cannot just move Bledsoe to the bench. Because it's already going to fuck, like, your rotation is bad enough anyway. Not because it's bad, but because you just don't have the parts. You don't have the pieces. You don't have enough tools. So you got to use tools that you don't want to use, but you got to use them to get the job done. That's the problem. It don't matter so much that we don't want Bled. But the problem is you're going to replace Bled with Dread. No matter what. Yeah, sure, your starters are going to be killing it. Josh Hart, Kira, he can't shoot enough to me. He needs to be in the G League. Not because he's bad, but he needs the experience. He needs the ball. He needs to dominate more with the ball. He needs to get those. He like the reps he's getting is good, but it's not good enough for him. He needs to actually be playing. He needs like high usage rate playing, right? He's just getting a couple minutes here and there, and yes, it'll develop, it'll work, it'll help. But they're trying to win games. They're trying to win games. You're having to rely on Kira and Nall to win games and old man JJ to win games. Think about this. There is no answer for the starting problem. The only answer is no. I'm just gonna be frank. The only answer is no. Nall can get supervised by the other guys. He still spaces the floor. He's another ball handler. That's the only answer. Because, I mean, unless you're going to sit B.I. or Zion, or unless you're going to sit Steven Adams. And if you do that, if you're going to do that, you basically all you're doing is slide Zion to center, or maybe insert Melly as center, start center. Do you want to do that? Or you can slide Zion and B.I. and put maybe JJ in there and Lonzo and then maybe Bled or something like that. Like, that don't even sound right. That lineup sounds terrible, right? No, there is nothing you can do. Like, there's really nothing you could do. Hands are tied. The Pelicans are better off somebody getting injured. I'm just going to be honest. They're better off getting injured and allowing guys like Wenyen Gabriel, like Sedarius Thorwell is terrible. He's not an NBA player. He don't need to be in the league. I'm going to be frank. Good dude, but he's not an NBA level player. Wenyen Gabriel got some skills though. He should be playing. He definitely should be playing. And I think he would help them immensely, but he missed so much time in training camp and other stuff. They're not going to him unless they are missing bodies. And I mean multiple bodies. That's how Kira got his minutes. Bodies. And then you saw what Nall couldn't do, and Nall came back even after Zoe was there, still couldn't do shit, right? It sucks. It sucks to realize you don't have the bodies to, the tools to do the job. You just don't. Blame the front office. Blame them for drafting. This ain't Stan's fault. This really ain't Stan's fault. It's really not. But what can you do? Like, and I know there's two parts of this video. I know you guys are smart. Nothing I suggested sounded better. Again, you could put Josh Hart in the starting lineup if you wanted to, who would be the best starter. But the Pelicans are going to get out to a 42-20 lead and then be down 10 by the time the starters get back because you had to put all those other guys in and they just gave away shots. Now you got a team that's hot that the starters have to come deal with. What's the point in teams just saying, look, just keep the game, just try to get as close in the first quarter as you need. When they bench start coming in, kill them. And once you kill them, they're dead. You see what I'm saying? You would go in halftime, games would be like 72-60. And you got to bring your starters back out. And they may bust into the lead and get it manageable. They may get out and the game is like 85-82. But then that unit got to come in. And guess what? Before you know it, 105 to like 92. That's going to be the situation every single time. Every single time. They just don't have players. So it don't matter how much you want to put Bledsoe on the bench. It don't matter how much you want to start Kira or start Josh Hart. They do not have the bodies. They really don't. Like, the only way, like, if you just want to care about the Pels and take Lonzo out of it, your best bet as the Pels is to find a suitor who's going to give you hell and back for Lonzo and take whatever bench depth you can get, and you're better off sliding Bledsoe to starting point guard and letting Kira just take a backup role, and then you got JJ, Josh Hart, and then whoever the fuck. Or you could start, matter of fact, because I forgot, if you're going to play Bledsoe, you can get whoever you took in from the trade to start a shooting guard, if you're assuming you're getting a shooting guard, and then you can just play your bench with Kira, JJ, Josh Hart, so on and so forth. Or if you want to really get wings, you could play Kira or Nall, and then Josh Hart plus whatever you got, in a trade. But that's the problem. And what people also have to understand is Zion is going to eat up most of the power forward minutes. He's going to eat up most of those minutes alone. B.I. is going to eat up a chunk of he's going to eat up the other chunk of power forward minutes that Zion doesn't get, and he's going to eat up the bulk of the small forward minutes. So whatever wing you're getting has to be able to play both positions. You got to get a flexible wing. He's got to be able to play power forward and small forward like Jonathan Isaac. But there's nothing they can do, man. Their hands are tied. Their hands are tied. And I know you guys can look at that and be like, that shit is hopeless. I say, man, that shit is hopeless, bruh. I'm sorry to tell you that, but look, I'm sorry I have to do 2 videos. Phone said fuck me, but it is what it is. I just want to make sure I addressed and answered everybody's questions. If you got any more questions, comment section, or if you have a question about something I said in either of the videos, let me know. I'll gladly address it. God, that shit is almost depressing, man. God damn. Like, shit. Like, and let me, side note, because I was about to end this video, but just a side note. One of the things I've been looking at in the games is bench scoring. And it does not seem big. Like, when you hear the points, you're like, oh, okay. But then you have to watch them when they play other teams. I remember watching last night, and at one point, the Pels had 9 bench points, and their bench had 18. Like, their bench doubled our output every time. By the time we got up to something respectable, their bench still had plenty of freaking points. You see what I'm saying? Like, you're just not getting enough production off the bench. And you got to think about it. You're keeping one of BI or Zion in at all times. So they're going to be the focal point of the offense. It sucks. If you go get a squad like the Lakers could go literally play their entire bench as a second unit, and they go put up 20, 25 on you. What if our bench could go get 20, 25 while the starters go get theirs? If the bench could just get 35 points a game, like, what was it? Out of the 120 points, someone said that I think the starters scored, it was something ridiculous. They scored like 85% of the points in last night's game. Think about that. 85% of the total points came from the starters. The starters. Like, your bench is so garbage. Your starters having to play for your bench. Unless you play another team with a trash ass bench. But again, what are you going to trade? Bledsoe's contract is too much. You're going to have to give up something you don't want to have to give up. And then that means now you got another hole in the team because you got a bunch of guys you can't play. Darius Thornwell, Wenyen Gabriel. They're not going to play those guys. They're just there unless they start getting a bunch of injuries or COVID. Truth be told. Nobody wants to see Jackson Hayes. Sorry. But anyway, Q&A Monday. Y'all have a good one. Peace.